Hey friends, Dan Carter here with an intermediate flow for low back pain. Even though I spend most of my days moving and running around, I still deal with chronic back pain. I have a little bit of scoliosis and a tilted pelvis, so it's something that's always been present in my yoga practice and that I'm very aware of. I know it's something that a lot of you ask for, so I thought I would give you this quick yoga flow to help reduce low back pain, both in the moment and chronically, and strengthen some muscles in that area. So let's jump into it. You're gonna wanna have either a pillow or a bolster for today's class. I love a yoga bolster. This one's from Manduka, but a big fluffy pillow will work just as well. We're gonna get started on our backs. And once you're on your back, place a hand over your heart and a hand over your belly. We'll take 3 deep breaths together, inhaling in through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Continue to breathe like that, or whatever way makes you comfortable for the next few minutes. Draw your right knee into your chest and move the right leg from side to side. Feel free to make some ankle circles here. Get those little crunchies out. And then switch legs. Holding onto your left knee, moving the leg from side to side, and making some circles with the ankle. Be sure to do both directions. I don't think my mic is picking this up, but it sounds like snap, crackle, pop up in my ankle right now. Continue to hold on to your left leg. Take your head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground so that your belly pokes out. You feel your deep abs engaging, and then pull your belly down. Try to switch the legs simultaneously. Switch, switch, switch. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. From there, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Bring your hands behind your left thigh and pull the thigh as close to your body as you can for a reclined pigeon posture. Before we start to strengthen our glutes, we're just gonna release our outer hips a little bit so that our big glute, our gluteus maximus, can do the work for us today. Switch legs, this time crossing your left ankle over your right knee. Grabbing onto your right thigh and pulling it towards you. We'll hold for 5 deep breaths. Draw both your knees into your chest, give them a quick squeeze, and then place your feet firmly on the ground. Bring your hands beside your hips, flattening out the wrists like sphinx paws on the ground. And on your next exhale, lift your butt up into the air. On the inhale, tap your butt back down to the ground, and we'll repeat that 9 more times. Exhaling to lift, and inhaling to lower. Feeling your firm, great butt cheeks engage with each round of this rolling bridge. Super important muscle group to provide a strong and healthy platform for our low back. For another 3, 4, 2, and 1. Draw your knees into your chest, give them a hug. Feel free to rock side to side. Notice how your low back is feeling today. This is an exercise that makes me extremely aware of the comfort or discomfort in my low back on any given day. And then from there, find your way to standing. If you can get there without touching your hands to the ground, you get brownie points, but if you need your hands still, totally fine. That's why we're here, right? To get better at doing stuff like that. And then from there, we're gonna meet standing at the top of the mat. Instead of doing our traditional yoga fold, we're gonna do a strength exercise called a good morning. So on the inhale, you're gonna take your hands to your pelvis, and then on the exhale, you're gonna bend your knees so that you can send your hips back and tilt your pelvis forward, creating a flat surface with your back. On the inhale, take your hands all the way to the ground and step your left foot back into a low lunge. Exhale, reach your right arm up to the ceiling and take a twist. Inhale, plant both of your hands and kick your right leg up to the ceiling for a three-legged dog. Exhale, plant your foot, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into a high plank position, and you can lower to the mat however you'd like, but if you want a little tricep strength, maybe you take a tricep push-up down there. Untuck your toes, engage your butt cheeks, and lengthen out your spine so that you're in a baby cobra. So strong through the low back and the butt cheeks that your hands could come off the ground. Press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step to the top of the mat, and we're coming directly into our good morning position. So hands on the pelvis, back is flat like a dinner table. Exhale, engage through the thighs to lift up to standing. And we'll repeat that a few more times here. Inhale, hands on the pelvis, or if you're getting good at your good mornings, on the back of the head. Exhale, bend into the knees and create a flat surface with your back. Inhale, plant the hands, and this time step your right foot back into a low lunge. Exhale, reach your left arm up to the ceiling for a revolved lunge. Inhale, plant your hands and kick your left leg up to the ceiling for a three-legged dog. Exhale, plant your foot for a downward facing dog. Inhale forward into a high plank and lower to the mat, however works for your body. Inhale, lift into a baby cobra, or if you're feeling like your spine is already getting a little longer, you could come into a king cobra, pressing actively into the earth, making sure that your butt and your low back are engaged to help lengthen through your lumbar spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time from downward facing dog, cross your right ankle over your left, step back to down dog. Cross your left ankle over your right, step back to down dog. That'll come in handy in a minute. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Meet me in your good morning position. Hands on the shins, the pelvis, or the back of the head with a nice, long, flat back. Exhale, use the strength of the thighs to lift to standing. We're gonna do that 2 more times. We're gonna add a few variations in to start to work our outer hips. So, inhale, hands wherever you want them for your good morning. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge forward. Inhale, plant the hands and step your left foot back to a low lunge. Exhale, right arm lifts for a revolved lunge. Inhale, plant the hands and send your right leg up to the ceiling for three-legged dog. Exhale, cross your right ankle over your left ankle, and then walk your hands as close to your feet as you can. If your outer hips are already very open, you might be able to come into a full forward fold. If your hips are still opening like mine, you might be somewhere in between a forward fold and a downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to downward facing dog. Step or hop to your good morning position. Some of us might know this as half forward fold, but we're being a lot more intentional about the engagement of the hips and the flat back. Lift up to standing with the strength of your hips. And we'll do one more round. Exhale, good morning. Inhale, step your right foot back into a low lunge. Exhale, left arm lifts. Inhale, plant the hands, left leg lifts for three-legged dog. Exhale, cross leg down dog, left leg crosses over right. Inhale, willow tree. Walk your hands as close to your feet as you can from this position. If you are someone who deals with scoliosis or a tilted pelvis like I am, this is an incredible posture. This was one that you could isolate in this series and just do without any real flow. Walk your hands forward, downward facing dog. Step or hop, meet me in your good morning. Exhale, use the strength of your legs to lift up to standing. And shake it out. Cool. So now that we're nice and warmed up, we're gonna do a really deep posture. We're gonna start with lizard lunge. For my lizard lunge, I really like to have a bolster nearby, which is why I grabbed one. So for that lizard, we'll have the right knee forward and the left knee back, both starting in a 90-degree angle. But then as we get more comfortable, we'll get our hands down on our bolster and we'll start to shift our back knee back so that the front of our back hip, in this case the left one, is moving closer to the ground, targeting 2 sets of our body's hip flexors, one of which directly attaches to the low back. And if you're in sort of a chill mood today, you can slowly melt over your bolster. If you are in a more fiery mood, you can take your right hand to your right knee, push it out to the side. Your right hand behind your body, and bend your left knee so that the foot comes into the hand. Half dragon pose. We're gonna hold here for 5 more minutes in lizard or dragon. Take a moment to notice if you can feel your front hips getting longer and the way in which that provides relief to the low back. You could almost imagine your hip flexors like rubber bands wrapping around the front of your low back and putting a lot of strain on it. And then we'll come back to our starting position, shake out those hips, and we'll switch sides. Left knee forward, right knee back, both of them at 90-degree angles to start. But as you ease into the shape, the front of the right hip gets closer to the ground. I always think of yoga as a dress rehearsal for life. So what is it that you're needing in your life right now? Are you needing some quiet time with what is essentially a giant body pillow? Or are you needing that dragon energy right now? And like I mentioned, this is an intermediate low back flow. So this dragon pose is definitely intermediate. There's an advanced version as well, but if you're more in that beginner to intermediate range, I would say stick with the more gentle lizard. And then come back to our starting position and meet me standing. And just shake out your hips a little bit. And notice how your low back is feeling. I had to sit in a chair today, so I was a little worried about mine, but mine feels really good. It feels like my hips aren't pulling on it, like I've moved my spine in a couple different directions, so it's nice and mobile, and I'm ready to take on the day. Have a good one, yogis.